joined today by a very powerful guest. No pun intended there. If you know him, if you've seen anything that he's done, you know exactly what I mean, Mr. Noel Walrond. Thank you so much for joining us today. How you doing?
Oh, I'm powerful, man. And it's my pleasure to be here, Jamelle. Thank you for inviting me.
No problem at all. So you're up to quite a bit. You're a busy guy. I know that you're an author. I actually attended one of your workshops recently, and it was an incredible workshop, and I understand now why you say the word powerful. Yes. Because I felt that, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Sure. But I'd like to actually share with you guys how I met Noel and how I knew kind of what he was doing and what he was into in the community. I was actually just scrolling on Facebook, and I stopped on a video that you were in, and this is before I knew who you were, and I had the opportunity to witness you coach. Oh, I had an opportunity to witness you coach.
Right.
And as a coach myself, just naturally, I'm very critical when it comes to observing and watching other coaches. Not in a negative way, but I always ask myself, like how they did that, or maybe I would have changed that, or whatever the case may be. And I sat there and I watched this, and I was like, wow. That was amazing. That was incredible. And I remember thinking to myself, this really is a powerful guy. And it was later.
Right now he's trying to make a black man blush. That's what he's trying, but we don't do that. We just get teeth.
Hey man, I'm just keeping it real.
Yeah,
these are real factual observations. So that was my introduction to you.
Oh, thank
you.
And
it was a fantastic introduction. So I wanted to say thank you for that, because it was a good way for me to get an idea of what it is that you do.
Got it.
Right?
Yeah, it was good times.
And you do a lot. You're an author, you're a speaker, you're a coach, you're running these seminars to help people manifest their dreams and monetize their passions every single month. And there's just so much that's there. But what I'd like to know is, what was it that brought you to the place that you're at now? Like, take us back to, Noel before he became Noel. What was that like?
You mean Noel before he became Noel?
Noel before he became Noel.
It's all good, man. Well, wow. Where to begin? I know this is we got little segments here, so I gotta keep it tight.
That's okay.
I guess I was, if we sort of fast forward past through university. Because back in the day, I used to promote events. I was a promoter. In high school, I had a very strict mom, and who didn't allow me to, like, when the school dances were on, and let's just say the school dance would start at 5 o'clock, and it would go till 9. She'd be there to pick me up at 7:30. You know what I mean? Like she was super strict.
Right when you had to drink of water, it's time to go.
Oh man, please, mom was very, very strict.
Right.
And so then because I got frustrated with not being able to go out when my friends were going places, and they were going out and having a good time, I started hosting. I said, well, can I have a party at the house? And she said, sure, okay. And then I was only expecting about 10 people, and 40 showed up, and my mom said, not at the house. You know what I mean? You gotta move this somewhere else. And so the long and short of it is that I started becoming a promoter, because I got booked another venue, and then we were expecting maybe 50 to 60 people. 200 people came out, and the parties got big. We got to the point where we started doing 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people. And
wow.
Back then, you know Director X, the video.
I do actually. I played Xbox with him once. True story.
Well, X used to draw my flyers for me back in high school,
yes.
Because we went to North Park together, right?
Okay.
And so the X playing Xbox. Okay, there you go. I just got that. I just got that. So but I started doing the promoting, and then I started bringing promotions with a conscious effort. So I would organize the step competitions, like the Stomp in Black, and I also organized the Black Prom back in the day, and because during times have changed a lot in the last 20-something years, you know what I mean? But in our schools, we had very little representation in our schools, and we, in many cases, were made to feel like second-class citizens within our classes.
Okay.
Within the schools.
When was this exactly?
You want me to date myself, man?
Hey, man, we can just say it was another time.
Another time. It was another time.
Right.
Another time.
Keep going.
So I was doing the events and promoting. So I had been used to sort of being out there as an activist, because I would be speaking at these events, that I organized within the community. But then when I began to get into the world of personal growth and development, I was introduced to it through the Amway business back in the day.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because Dexter Yeager used to promote books, tapes, seminars, and rallies, right? And the reason for those was that the books, why? Because the diameter of your thinking dictates the circumference of your activity. You can only function within the space that you're aware of, right? And then outside of leveraging through other people. And then the seminars for the education, you know what I mean? I guess, and a rally to be around other people of like mind, you know what I mean? Because it was important for people of like mind to work together and to build together. So I started getting introduced to people like Les Brown, Brian Tracy, Tony Robbins, and all these guys. So you
met all of these guys in person?
No. I was introduced through their material.
Got it. So you started reading and seeing what they created.
Yeah, and I was really inspired by the work they did, particularly Tony Robbins. Well, Les Brown for different reasons. Obviously, he was the first black male who was out there who wasn't a preacher. You know what I mean?
Story, yeah.
And so Les Brown for a different reason. But Tony Robbins, his book Awaken the Giant Within, that book changed things for me.
I love that.
And so I became a student of it, and in the Amway business, because I started doing well. I was like a teenager, like, you know what I mean, doing the business, and obviously, I built the teams and made money, and that was my first sort of exposure into the world of direct sales. And then, fast forward, I ended up running a direct sales company, going door to door, and
was this your company that you were running?
Well,
the direct sales company?
Well, at first I was working for a company doing direct sales, and we would go door to door, business to business, street pitching, whatever. We sold just about everything under the sun. And so I was given an opportunity once I got good at it to build a team, and then ultimately open up my own office, which became my business. And then I was able to promote out other offices and have multiple offices, right?
Okay.
I guess, and so. That was through Sidcore and DS Max back in the day, right?
So where it all started was with the multi-level marketing. So you started with Amway, and as you were doing Amway and getting better, that's when you took on personal development
through all the books and the tapes and the audios. And then I started getting asked by people, "Hey, would you come talk to my team? Would you come talk to my team? Could you do a presentation for me?"
Right,
that type of thing.
And that's how it all
so it started coming together through these different mediums.
Okay.
And then everything changed when I was at the Introduction Leader program put on by Landmark Education.
I hear a lot of great things.
In March of 2010, and they asked 3 questions. They asked, "What is your stand for humanity? What is the game you want to play on this planet? And how big a game do you want to play?" And so they gave us the lunch to think about it. And then I thought about friends of mine like X and Russell Peters, because we grew up together in Brampton. We're all all Bramptonians, right? And Julie Black also. I remember when she was like a teenager because we used to do the step competitions at Driftwood Community Center.
Yes.
And Luther Brown, we used to go to university together. We were in Cody Hall together. So when I organized the step shows, he organized the Do That dance team, And I'm watching the levels that these guys have gotten to, doing what they do. And even Tanisha Scott, like she's done stuff with Alicia Keys, Janet Jackson, all these people. So I'm really happy for my friends, but disappointed in myself because I felt I kind of took the path of least resistance. I just went for the money, I guess. And there's nothing wrong with making money, but I think that, as I've shared at the seminar, inspiration is an instruction from our Creator to do something. And when we have an idea that comes to us that resonates, we need to, act on it quickly. And so, I was afraid, like most people are, about venturing out and to do something that's new. And so I ended up, we ultimately decided, I'm going to get going on this thing. And I found a mentor, and that mentor was Bob Proctor.
That's amazing.
And I call him Uncle B,
Uncle B basis.
I told him to pour into me, man, because I represent the next generation,
Okay.
And,
So that's really interesting, the way that everything kind of happened and transpired for you. So you were kind of already doing the seminar and self-development and supporting people in the door-to-door sales game.
Yes.
But then I guess you got to a place where you wanted to expand that or do it to a different capacity.
Well,
what was the need there?
I wanted to help people regardless to whether they were in my business or not. And when you're in a... Now, that's not to say, Jim Rohn back in the day was in network marketing,
right,
but he still went out and he coached people all over the world.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, but the hours that we, there's a big difference between when the guys who run the direct sales offices in that game and network marketing. Network marketing, if you've duplicated yourself effectively, you really don't have to do much work. You know what I mean? Like, direct sales, you're in the office in the morning, you're there at night. Like, you know what I mean? You got to be there for settle up. You're motivating your guys. And now, of course, we duplicate ourselves, but it's a different beast. You know, and so it wouldn't have given me the time. You know, because at the time I'm making a lot of money, but I was also doing 16, 17, 18-hour days. You know what I mean? And some days 20 hours. And sometimes I felt like 24 hours because even when you're sleeping, you're dreaming that you're doing it. And then you wake up and you feel like you didn't sleep.
I think a lot of people are in that boat. So it's super interesting. So you start off, you're kind of doing it in that world, the multi-level marketing world, and then the door-to-door sales world. And then you recognize that you want to do it to a bigger capacity, not just people that are in that business.
Right. Well, the thing I love the most about the direct sales business, I've helped train 18-year-olds and help 18-year-olds become six-figure income earners. In fact, one of the guys who started on my team, now he runs his own direct sales company, Rodrigo Gonzalez. I think Rodrigo's like 34 now. We met when he was 19. He's doing about $3 million a year. You know what I mean? You know, so, and he's opened up a bunch of offices throughout Canada, and I think he's got some started opening up in the States soon. And so the business, I remember one of the guys who was one of the biggest in our industry, Chris Niarchos, he said, this is one of the kind of things where we eat nose and we crap out $100 bills. You know what I mean? This is what we do. Money spits money at you.
Right.
When you know what you're doing, like when you're good at it, it's a very, very profitable business. So people say don't work. They don't know what they're talking about because trust and believe it does.
So there's something that I want to dive into, and we'll take a dive into it in a minute. But you were in a space where you were doing well, you were successful, you were making a lot of money, and suddenly you get this inspiration, and what you say is inspiration means that you need to act on something.
Oh, is that somebody calling
We've
in?
got a live call in now. What we'll do is we'll go away, we will break away, come back, and we'll take that call after these messages.
Hello?
Think you have what it takes to bring value to the community? The TCN TV network is expanding and now accepting TV show proposals. Here's an opportunity to build celebrity status and become part of an elite group of community advocates that are focused on building, strengthening, and empowering our community in a positive way. Are you interested in embarking on a new adventure? TCN TV is searching for people interested in opportunities to change the conversation and pave an unforgettable legacy. If you feel you have something of value to offer, send a written show proposal to shows@mytcntv.com.
Welcome back to the Visionary Show. We have online with us Mr. Noel Walrond. We actually had a call come in just now, so we're going to open up the lines and allow Noel to do his thing with the caller who's calling in. And once we're done with that call, then we'll get back to your story.
Sure.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
so why don't we answer the call, and then we'll start from there.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. This is Andrew. How are you doing?
Powerful, Andrew. How you doing?
Good.
Andrew.
It's Noel, correct?
Noel. Like Christmas.
Noel. Okay.
Andrew, thank you so much for giving us a call in today. I just wanted to say thank you, and whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and share with us how Noel could be of support to you.
Sure. Any questions? Sure.
Well, Noel, roughly a year and a half, 2 years ago, decided to embark on a Plan B career, specifically in real estate. First started out with mortgages, got my mortgage license, then realized very quickly that, not all the money is in that. The better money is in the real estate side of things, and ended up going to school, getting the appropriate education, and getting all the ducks in a row in regards to a brokerage in my areas and emissions and insurance and all that. But, I still have my full-time day job. I'm actually doing this as my part-time, and then, leading toward my retirement. This will be my plan B, so hopefully this will be a nice little nest egg. But what I've been finding is sometimes it's on a day-to-day basis just to maintain that energy level, like for the entire day, and then switching gears, at the end of the day, and, having the one hat on during the day and having the other hat on for real estate and later on in the evening and on the weekends.
So what's the question?
Pardon me, I didn't quite catch you there.
So what's the question that you're asking? I understand what you're saying, but what's your question? Like, are you looking to go into the real estate full time?
Well, I'm looking to do real estate full time once I retire from my other job. I mean, that's a bit of a 10-year plan right now.
10-year plan. Why does it have to take 10 years? Real estate is one of the easiest businesses on the planet.
It's one of the easiest businesses on the planet.
Oh my God, yeah, bro. Listen. I'm not a real estate agent, but when I was in transition between doing the speaking and coaching, I needed something that could help free up my time. I understand the time issue, which is what the issue I had to solve. And so, a friend of mine was a real estate broker, and so we worked out an arrangement. And I started doing financial literacy seminars at different churches and community groups and centers. And I think in that first year I did over 40 properties without really much sweat. So it's something where and I'm not in real estate. It's not. I'm a real estate investor, but I'm not an agent, So but I think here's my question to you: how many people do you speak to in a week about what you do? Are you talking to a minimum of 50?
A little less than that.
A little less or a lot less?
Probably half.
Right. If you're talking to less than 50 people a week about what you do, you don't have a business, first of all. You have a hobby. In direct sales, you have to be talking to at least. Like, I just want to really think about this for a minute, right? And I know it's challenging when you've got the 9 to 5. I get it. But if you went out to 3 or 4 networking functions in a week, like there's meetups all over the city every night. In fact, there's one tonight, 7 till 10, in Mississauga. So if you went out to 3 or 4 meetup groups, whether it was on between the weekends and in the midweek, and you were to get out and speak to about at least 50 people between them combined, with the proper follow-up and follow-through, if you're doing right, you're also going to get a lot of referrals. And
right.
And so to me, anybody who's in the mortgage business and they're not doing at least one deal a week, they're not really working.
Okay.
And if you're looking at, I don't know how much you make right now. Are you making over $100,000 on your current job?
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty close.
Pretty close. Okay, so not $100,000 yet. So if you were doing a deal a week in mortgages, on the average mortgage deal would pay you what? A couple of G's, like $2,000?
About that much, yeah.
Right. So if you did one a week, that's $8,000 a month. I mean, I'm pretty certain at that point, if you could do that on a part-time basis, could you imagine what you could do full-time?
You're right.
And if you're on the real estate side, now I know that it takes time for deals to close. People say, well, it takes time for deals to close, and da-da-da-da. Fair enough. But at the end of the day, it's something where I'm talking about once your pipeline is full, eventually they're going to drop. So if you want the return, you've got to put in the work, and it's not, and it's no different for any profession that anybody does. If they want to be a top tier player, you got to put in the work, and there's no shortcutting it. So it may take you 10 years at the rate that you're going, but it doesn't have to take you 10 years. That I can tell you. And by the way, being a mortgage agent isn't just about doing mortgages. You can create deals with developers. Nothing stops you from even creating a MIC. You know what I mean? And getting funds together with people and investing in projects with developers and getting percentages on the back end. There's all kinds of ways to get paid, I guess. So you're not restricted. You got to get outside of the box of what so-called agent is, and get into a mortgage business, because you're in the money business. You're not the mortgage. Mortgage is just another word for loan, or money. And so right now, particularly, bro, like right now, with the way the market is right now, with the way that the banks are tightening up, people, and I tell everybody out there, if you're not, if you have a house and you've made some money over the last couple of years, for the people who are in Toronto or in the GTA who are watching this, if we were getting market value increase of anywhere between 20 to 30% a year. You know what I mean? So you got some money now, presuming you haven't refied up to this point. So if they go and get a refi now, like, you have so many people right now who got to get that money out and placed. And they should be doing it before, because it's going to get tougher to close those deals inside of a couple of years. You know what I'm saying? So for people who want to get their money working harder for them, now is the time. Like, because the banks are tightening it up, the interest rates are going up. They will normalize. You will get back to that 4 to 6% rate, which was normal. Prior to this artificially low, depressed interest rates for free money that we've been having fun with for the last 6-7 years. So.
That's correct, yeah.
So I think that if you get on game and you really challenge yourself, you could really push it. I would recommend, first of all, you should come out to my session. I have on September the 13th, we have a open session. Come on out, come meet me. You know what I mean? Come out and network, connect, and maybe jump into one of the classes that I do and come in and learn. Because there are mortgage agents who I've coached right now, currently, who are doing over $250,000 a year.
Well, fantastic.
They're doing that now, real time. I don't want to say names because I don't know if they want me putting all their business out there, but I'll just give you one name because I guess he's affiliated also here too. Charles Ayodelli. He's killing it. What up, Charles? Dream-A-holics.
Yeah.
So it's available. So you just may need, it may be your approach and maybe need some guidance as well as some structure, because one of the biggest problems for most entrepreneurs, we're not structured. Like, when you go to a job, you're used to being told what to do, when to sit down, when to go on your breaks, when to do whatever. They have a specific rules for the day that you need to do before you check out. But as business owners or self-employed people, we don't tend to do that for ourselves. We don't have that same kind of discipline. And because you don't have the same kind of discipline, the results show up. Because remember, the only way that an employer can afford to pay you, or any employee, is because you're doing your job on a consistent basis, create a certain amount of value for that company. Otherwise, they can't pay you.
Absolutely right.
No matter what the job is. So come. I invite you. Come on out, or shoot me an email, or hit me up on Facebook. Email Noel at mydreamswork.com, or inbox me or inbox me. I'm on Facebook, Noel, Noel, last name WALROND. Inbox me and just say you heard me on Jamelle's show, and you want information on the upcoming events and seminars.
I'd appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Was that useful for you, Andy?
Oh yes. Okay, you've given me plenty of food for thought, and I think I just have to restructure and just hit it. Hit it.
Well, remember, your family needs you. So
absolutely right.
And we're either going to have excuses or results, but we're not going to have both. So we need to make a decision.
Exactly.
All right, my man.
Thank you so much.
Noel,
for giving us
thank you very much. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Bless.
God bless.
Incredible. Thank you so much for that. It just by the way that you responded to that inquiry, it seems as though many entrepreneurs seem to be struggling with the same kind of thing. And is that what you tend to find in some of your workshops and with working with people one-on-one? Yeah,
well, people need structure, and and giving yourself structure when you're not used to that, it's challenging.
And it's interesting because, like you said, we go to a job that gives us structure, and we can function within that structure under someone else telling us what to do.
Yes.
So we have the discipline, we have the ability.
Of course.
And then as soon as we take away that structure, so, I clock out at work,
Lost.
Suddenly that discipline disappears. But how could it disappear if it was there just a few minutes ago,
It's
right?
funny, too, because when you're at work, people know that they can't call you when you're at work. They can't bother you. But when you're an entrepreneur, everybody wants to call you.
Exactly.
Because, of course, you're available.
Yes.
You have your own business, so hey, you know what I mean? You can talk to me anytime. Buddy, I'm working.
There you go. I love that. We're going to talk a little bit more about this. There's a lot here. Why don't we break away? After these messages, we'll really dig into it.
All right.
Discover the incredible India.
Welcome back to the Visionary Show. Thank you so much for joining and watching. If you were with us before the break, we actually had an incredible conversation. You were able to coach Andrew, who gave us a call in, and it sounded like what he was struggling with, a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with. And we were talking about this before the break, saying a lot of us as entrepreneurs, we lack that structure, but we have the ability to function within structure because we do it during our 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And, you know, part of my question to you is, why do you believe that so many of us struggle with that, and suddenly when we're not at that 9 to 5, we don't have the same work ethic that we had before?
Well, you and I will only do what we're conditioned to do long term. I mean, it doesn't matter whether it's work, whether it's working out, whether it's relationships, whether it's anything. You know, if you're not conditioned a certain way, it takes time to recondition, or you have to set up a structure to do that. Like in my courses, one of the things that I do is I have accountability teams, because you need to have people who are going to hold you accountable. If you don't have a group of people around you that you can count on, who can say, hey, you said you were going to do X, did it happen? Hey, did you make that call? Hey, did you do that thing today? Okay, great.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And you need to have people, and if you don't do it, you need somebody who's going to challenge you. Not to beat you up, but to challenge you. There's a difference, you know, like this, you know, and so for example, this morning I was at the gym with my trainer, Travis, right? Can I go to the gym by myself? Yeah, of course I can go to the gym by myself. But will I push the same level of weight and get the same workout that I would get if I went with a trainer? Of course not. No. You know what I mean? So
it is what it is.
They're going to push you. They're gonna get you past, you know, those limits. And sometimes and there was a point today. He had me. You know, when you're pushing, I'm on that bench and I'm going to push this thing, and it's like, and I felt it was like tickling. You know what I mean? You got nothing left, and you start. I'm trying not, because you're trying not to laugh. I'm trying to get this thing up. It was. Oh man, he was.
Did you do it?
Oh yeah, I got it.
Was he yelling at you?
I guess no. You know, I'm not the guy you yell at.
Okay.
You know, you just say, hey, you can do it. Come on, you got this. You got this. That's me. Yeah, okay. I wouldn't have worked out in the military.
Okay.
No, I'd be excused.
Yeah.
What?
Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. What you're saying then is it all comes down to conditioning, and the way that we condition ourselves is the way that we behave. And so to do something different, then we have to recondition.
There's a lot of entrepreneurs, first of all, who can't work at home. Like, you know what's going to, the TV? Woo! TV is there. You got all types of other distractions. Sometimes you need to get out to a little coffee shop. You know what I mean? Or if there's like, for example, Andrew, who called in, he is with a mortgage, or he's with a brokerage. Yeah. He could go into the office and work there. You know what I mean? We're at the office.
Got another live one for you right now. We'll go ahead and take this call. Hello? Hello? Whoa.
Hello.
Oh, sounds like it's busy. You have reached the Visionary Show today with Noel. Who are you speaking to?
I'm doing great. It's a bit muffly. Is that on my end or your end?
It may be on both ends. Can you make out what I'm saying?
Yeah, slightly.
Okay. So I do have Noel here, and he'd love to be able to support you in any way that he can. Let us know who we're speaking with and what we could do to help you.
Hi, yeah, my name is Elijah.
Hi, Elijah. Nice to meet you.
Thanks.
And what can Noel do to help you today, Elijah?
Well, he's got a lot of business savvy, so I was wondering if he could just help me with my business. Really, I just started a consulting business, and I was wondering if he could give me some tips on that.
Okay. Well, what when you say consulting, what do you mean?
I'm a business consultant, so I look at entrepreneurs who are looking to grow their business, and I give them advice on how they can do that.
Okay. Now, have you run a business before?
Not to this degree, no.
Okay, so you're giving advice based on theory as opposed to practical experience.
Exactly. Most of what I do is really about creating successful people, and then successful people run successful businesses.
Okay, that sounds nice as a buzz phrase, but explain to me what exactly does that mean? Like when you say you help to make somebody successful.
Okay, so let's take I don't know, let's just say person A. Person A runs a business. It doesn't really matter what the business is.
Okay, so let's talk about me. This is Noel. Okay, so you're talking about Noel. So Noel runs a business, and?
Okay, so listen, what type of business is Noel running, first of all?
I run a coaching and speaking enterprise.
Okay, perfect. So for you to be successful, coach, we know generally that what do you need to be able to do to motivate people? You need to be confident. So I would help Noel learn how to be more confident. That's one way that I would help Noel take control of his business.
Okay, how would you, like, what are your steps? Like, how do you get me to being more confident?
Well, every business is different and every person is different, so I would attack it differently.
Okay.
So it really depends on who Noel is. We would sit down, have, I guess, what you would call a discovery session.
Okay.
And then work out ways that we can attack the issue.
Got it. This is your first business that you're running?
Yes.
Here's one suggestion I have for you. Outside of building this business, I would strongly suggest, I don't care if it's a network marketing deal, a traditional business of some kind, get one up and running yourself successfully and work through the challenges and the kinks. Because here's the thing. When I coach people on how to monetize their passions, I can do that because I've done it. I've lived it. I guess, I can teach people on, I live it every day. I can coach people on sales and development because it's an area that I come from and it's an area that I have experience and expertise and it's a strength for me. I can coach people on beating procrastination because it's something that I've beat. So there are steps that I followed in order to get to that point. One of the things I would just want to caution you with is that as you're building, and I'm going to give you some other pointers with respect to your business, but this is just directly for you, okay? Like this, Napoleon Hill, the author of Think and Grow Rich, he wrote that book based on going out to studying the wealthiest men on the planet. He was introduced to them through Andrew Carnegie, right? Who was the president of U.S. Steel. He wanted to find a new philosophy of success, right? He wanted to create a new philosophy of success for the common person. And so so now Napoleon is hanging out with the Henry Fords of the world, all of these guys. He's finding out all the formulas, all the things that they do to be successful. Then he synthesizes it in this book called Think and Grow Rich. That book produces more millionaires than any other book in modern history, but yet Napoleon died almost broke. How the heck does that happen? Because if you don't live and practice what you talk about, it's like, so you may be able to help folks, but you want to make certain that you're a living example of it. I can empathize with people with business owners because I know what it is to go through the tough times. I know what it's like to have collection agencies coming after me. I know what it's like to not have things go my way. I know what that's like, and I know how to get out of some of those spots because of it's been the school of hard knocks. Now you don't have to learn all the things by hard knocks. You can learn from other people's experience for sure, OPE, other people's experience for sure. But I also think that it's important because for me, if I'm an astute business person, my first question is to you when you're coming to pitch me about consulting me. Well, what's your business? What have you done, and who have you helped? You know what I mean? And what's your system, and how do you do it? Because so for somebody who may be a little less, maybe somebody who's more green, they may not ask, and they may just say, "Oh, okay, you're a consultant, sure." But for people who are really entrepreneurs and thinkers, before they put their money on the table to invest in that education, and I'm sure your intentions are great, you know what I mean? I just think that you really need to be an example of what you're talking about, you know what I mean? And then you can speak to it with a hell of a lot more force. And then what happens is that the energy that you're putting out there begins to come back to you, and where you don't have to work as hard in order to get the same result, because people want what you've got because they already see you as successful, you know, in doing something. So I would say, pick a business of any kind, and just for cucka and giggles, that we're on to live things, so I'll keep it family. You know what I mean? But
thank you for that.
You know, build one, you know, even if it's just $2,000 a week or something like that, so that to say you've done it. So if somebody like me asks you, "Oh yeah, I built up this other business, and just for on my spare time, I went and built that one up," and they're like, "Really? Okay, so now you have a different level of credibility."
Can I make a quick point though before you move forward?
Sure.
Okay, good place, because this is something that I really love to do. I'm not at a point where I'm really charging people to do this. I really love doing this, so I'm kind of, I guess you could say, building. So I'm not charging anything, but I'm providing the service so that I can learn. And I guess what you're saying is be credible in something, which is what I'm trying to do with this business, is be credible by helping these people build successful businesses before I can charge for it.
I understand, which is fair. I still think, even though you're getting the education, there's nothing wrong with, if you're just consulting, there's nothing wrong with charging. And the difference between amateurs and professionals, that professionals get paid. So if you finish maybe 3 or 4 freebies, that even if it's a nominal fee, you get paid for your time. But in the meantime, you could also still be building up something on building up something else, so that you can show as an example. So as an example, I built over the course of 6 months. I made a decision to build up this company, and I got this to this in 6 months. Then I went over here and just to try, see if I could bring that skill set over to a totally different, unrelated industry, and then I crushed that. And I did that over this time period. And this is how I did it. So what I can do with your business is X. Now I'm talking. Now you come in with some juice, you know. But in the meantime, in terms of consulting, if you've helped, I would make certain that you get video testimonials from the people who you're currently coaching and helping. Get video testimonials, and from when they start, make sure you get the date, time, and all of that. And so that you can build, as you're building your portfolio, you can be part of your website, as well as getting the written testimonials from them in terms of what's happened for them and how much they appreciate what you've done, because that's also something that helps you build credibility with the people that you're working with.
Great. That's actually really solid advice. I'm so appreciative of everything that you just said, honestly.
You're most welcome, and hopefully come on out to one of the sessions. Add me on Facebook, or come on out to the Game Changer on September 13th. It would be great to have you out, and bring friends, bring family, bring colleagues, anybody you think you can benefit.
Okay, cool. Sounds great. Thanks so much.
Have a powerful day. Bless.
Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay. Thank you so much. My goodness, a lot of value for anybody who's listening and watching this, and I really, really appreciate that. Mm-hmm. It's interesting, before or during the break, we were talking about the whole concept of being able to add value. And by adding value and having a conversation like that, anybody who's watching, who's going through something very similar, because I believe that a lot of people are, can take away from that conversation.
Right.
And that's exponentially valuable for more people. So what we'll do is we're going to break away for a quick minute. When we get back, we're going to learn a little bit more about you, what you're up to now, and we'll still keep the lines open if anybody wants to give us a call in. Okay? So enjoy these messages, and we'll be back in a quick second.
Think you have what it takes to bring value to the community? The TCN TV Network is expanding and now accepting TV show proposals. Here's an opportunity to build celebrity status and become part of an elite group of community advocates that are focused on building, strengthening, and empowering our community in a positive way. Are you interested in embarking on a new adventure? TCN TV is searching for people interested in opportunities to change the conversation and pave an unforgettable legacy. If you feel you have something of value to offer, send a written show proposal to shows@mytcntv.com.
Thank you so much for joining us today on the Visionary Show. We have the powerful Noel with us in the studio today. He's taken two calls so far from two different callers and very different backgrounds and levels of experience.
Before you go further, I just got to do this. I just got inspired. See, I'm seeing that thing on the screen. I got to get this picture.
Go for it,
I got to
man.
get this picture in. All right, we in studio.
Just make sure you tag me later when you get the photo.
Oh, this thing does not want to zoom. Okay.
Oh, it's always at these moments.
You
right?
can go ahead. You can go ahead, man.
Are you sure?
Yeah, do your thing. Do your thing. They say if you don't document it, it didn't happen. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Don't worry, man. This whole thing is going to be documented.
Okay, very good.
Oh yeah, man. So, what I'd love to know is kind of what you're up to right now, and how people can get involved with you, what the benefit would be, and really what's the first step there, and what else is happening. So fill us in.
Okay. Well,
Is that the best question I've asked so far?
I have. For those of people who've already been tuned in, I've been mentioning the Game Changer. That is my flagship program, and it's one where we teach people how to monetize their passions, beat procrastination, increase their sales, but most importantly, learn how to get control of their thought process, control of their mind. Like, so if I was to ask you the question, Jamelle, could you think of one or two things that you're not doing right now, or not doing to the best of your ability, but you know if you were to begin to do them, things would immediately begin to improve?
Absolutely.
Well, you'll notice I didn't ask you if you believed that you took certain actions that it would change things. I asked you if you knew that it would.
Yeah.
Well, why wouldn't you do what you know you should be doing
the
in order to
trick.
get things
That's the trick.
That's one thing that I help people get through the education of understanding the intellectual faculties of the mind, how they work, and how to get leverage over yourself to take the action. That is one of the most valuable things that comes through in the Game Changer program. And this fall, actually, we're going to be launching the Sell Some More Academy, which is strictly for salespeople and for entrepreneurs who want to improve their sales.
Right.
And I've been getting a lot of requests for people wanting to learn how to become better communicators and people who be better speakers.
Yes.
And so I'll be doing a class on effective communication and speaking from the stage. And excuse me, so for people who want information on those types of programs, they can go. They can shoot me an email at noel@mydreamswork.com. That's Noel at mydreams, plural, work singular.com. Or you can hit me up on Facebook, Noel, last name WALROND. And so inbox me or hit me up on Facebook, and I'm happy to send out some information. The next big thing that we've got coming up, though, and for all of your viewers today, beating procrastination is a major issue for a lot of people, and it impacts not just from a professional standpoint, but for all areas of life. And I'm launching a campaign called the 10 Million Strong, where we want to help 10 million people beat procrastination. The book is done.
Nice.
The app is 98% done.
Okay.
And we have a game thing that we're going to be attaching to this thing. It's going to be pretty interesting.
Okay, you're going to gamify it. So is the book about beating procrastination?
The book is called There Is No Tomorrow, The Ultimate Guide to Beating Procrastination.
Perfect.
Yes. And so for those of you who want, we're in pre-launch mode. If you want to go to www.wearedreamaholics.com, we are Dream-A-holics.com. You can actually download the first 5 chapters of the book for free, but whether it be downloadable PDF or audio book.
Yeah.
And you can actually order a copy of the book. You know what I mean? It's pre-orders. We haven't launched to 10 million strong, but you can still get the book and still get going. But this is going to be exciting. It's going to be a worldwide thing, and we're going to help millions of people beat procrastination. So
That's
I'm excited.
incredible.
There have been so many challenges. Believe it or not, we actually intended to launch this in January. You know, and then my back went out, and I was on bed rest for about almost a month. First time ever using a walker.
Not procrastination though. This is physical.
No,
like
and then had the challenges that go along.
That's enough. We get it.
With getting, but I'm actually happy that everything has happened as it has, because what we're creating is sick. You know what I mean? It's going to be awesome. So I'm looking forward to unleashing this. It's going to be a lot of fun.
That is absolutely incredible, and I have to say, only because I've been to the Game Changer seminar, and when I went, I was really curious because I didn't know what to expect. I had seen that coaching session, but for me, you know, especially as a coach and someone who does workshops, it's all about the content, it's all about the experience, and it's all about the impact. And I didn't know what to expect, but going in there and experiencing it myself and seeing it, it was very powerful information. Very powerful content, and what you were bringing to the table really is a game changer if someone is ready for that kind of information, which is another thing. You know, I feel that it's important to be in a space where you want to do something different and you're willing to do something different, and when you're in that space, a program like this, you'll just, I'm sure you've seen it where they just light up.
I'll be frank with you, and I know that readiness, you know, is definitely a part of the deal, but you know, I always say to people, whenever people come out to a session and they don't take advantage of the program, because the program is stupid, ridiculously, insanely cheap. Like you will never get more value for that. It doesn't exist in our industry. Like the price point for what they're getting, it doesn't exist. And so but you know, for people who are sort of holding back and waiting, like, what are you waiting for? You don't know when your time is going to be up.
Yep.
I thought that I was good, you know what I mean, coming out of January. You know, my goals changed from how much income I want to earn to if I could just walk down the stairs. You know what I mean? Like, we just don't know, you know, what's around the corner. There's no time for dilly-dallying. There's no time for that. And I'll tell you something else, and this is not to be alarmist, this is just a fact, that, you know, for the United States there's going to be a currency crisis that's on its way. It's going to be a very serious, some people talked about it, I heard it's going to be like the 08 recession. Oh, no. It's going to be very serious. There's a reason that the banks in Canada are tightening up. There's a reason that they're making it tougher for people to qualify. There's a reason for all these things to happen. None of it's accidental, okay? You know, and so they're bracing for what's coming. Mm-hmm. And if there has ever been a time to get your financial house in order, it is now. Get off the couch now. Like, don't play around. I'm being serious. Like, there's this that you need to get in gear now and prepare yourselves. You know, the people who already have resources, for us it's going to be a good day because we can buy stuff cheap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I feel sorry for masses of people. I really do, because there are a lot of people who are going to see savings wiped out. That's in certain, depending on how they have things are set up in the markets with mutual funds. Okay, I got to be careful about what I say. I got to be careful what I say. I'm not saying that mutual funds are a bad thing. I'm just saying that you need to, I would say, study 1934, when the Great Depression hit in the United States. Who were the winners and why did they win? Mm-hmm. What did they own? What did they have and what did they do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm a big proponent of gold and silver. Making sure you have that. I like real estate where there's cash flow, and because no matter what, somebody has to live somewhere, and they got to pay something to be there, and and cryptocurrencies, although it's volatile, there's a lot of value in that space.
Right.
If you begin to look, I never invest in anything you don't understand. First and foremost, but all of the tutorials that you want are available. You know what I mean, out there. And if you want some insights, message me. But it's something where, yes, I'm a coach, but I'm also a freedom fighter. Like I like my goal is to help free people.
And that's the thing, right? And we may be wondering, well, what does the program and Game Changer and all these things have to do with your monetary situation? So how can you help us to kind of bridge that gap?
Well, in the course, I start getting people in the space of becoming financially literate. It's in the program.
Awesome.
You know what I mean? You need to be the same way reading and writing is important. Understanding how money works, how to invest properly. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, so I don't give. What I do is I share what has been successful for friends of mine and what has worked for me. You know what I mean? But I do not advise people. I'm not a licensed advisor. I don't do that.
Okay.
I'm just saying that pay attention. You know what I mean, to what's going on. It's real, and you can't say you weren't warned. You know what I mean? And and there's a reason I said that people should really be looking at refinancing right now and getting money out. You know what I mean? Where you can. There's a reason. So but again, my intention isn't to be alarmist, but be prepared. You know what I mean? To be prepared, and if it doesn't go down as bad as we think it's going to go, great. You know what I mean? And I have family in the United States. I have students in the United States. I've coached all over. And so I don't want to see anybody get hurt. But the truth is, a lot of people are going to get hurt. It is what it is.
And it's sound advice, and it's coming from someone who has gone the path and built that for themselves.
Hell, even Tony Robbins is ringing the warning bell to people. He's saying, if you get his book money, you know what I mean? Like this, I don't make any money off that. You know what I mean? It's like, pay attention. Like, you know what's interesting? I'm on YouTube and I'm looking at, there's a video there they're talking about how to prepare, things for financial crises, learning what the billionaires are actually doing, because you want to follow the money, follow what the leaders are doing, and people who have successfully earn incomes in any kind of market, you know what I mean, which is important. And those videos, maybe you get a couple thousand views.
Yeah.
But if there's something with somebody getting sucker punched, or if there's some stupid thing with a cat playing with the ball, 10 million views, like, hello, you know what I mean? Like, you don't got time to watch all the television, like, for hours at a time when you could be researching and getting into the know. There's no excuse for not knowing. You know what I mean? Because when all the information is available.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right? And so we need to take personal responsibility and get the information. We really do. But for those who want, again, I'm happy to share any resources that I have and information that I have, and find it from other people and other sources, get multiple views, then do your own fact checking, and then come to your own conclusions that are best for you and your family.
I like that your whole message is about now, moving on things now. And I feel like a lot of times we feel like there's so much time. And that's the reason why we procrastinate with time wasters. But your program helps people to understand that they need to move now, that they need to act now. There's an accountability piece. There are different aspects that deal with not only mastering yourself, but mastering very specific skills like handling money and dealing with money. So it's like the complete package. And I love what you do. I'm so glad that I got an opportunity to come out and see what you do. And I highly encourage anybody who's in the space where they want to make a change now to get in contact with Noel, take a look at the program, go out to the open session, get a feel for it, and then make your decision. I highly encourage it. I saw the value, and there were so many people that were there that, well, not so many, but a few that were there that have already started the program, and they're seeing the value as well. So please contact.
Well, it's all about results.
There you go, right? And if you're not producing results, then what are you doing? So I got to say thank you so much for taking the time. I know that you're a very busy man, and there's a lot that you have on the go. So for you to take the time out to speak with me, to speak to our viewers is a big deal. So I really appreciate that you did that.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. It's game on. Let's get it.
There you go.
Powerful day. Reach out, Facebook, Noel Walrond, WALROND. Download the free stuff or order one of the pre-launch of the books. We are Dream-A-holics.com. Hit me up. Come get me. Let's
there you go. Thank you so much for watching the Visionary Show, guys. Until next time.